Alright, welcome back for part 2 of the American flag display case build. I'm about to take these out of the clamps and we're going to get started on the next process of part 2, putting all these together and getting it done. Looks pretty good. Going to have to plane this down and then get rid of all these glue buildups and dry glue on here. Alright, here is the bottom part. Here is the top part. Once we plane them down, we will join them together. Right about there like that. Okay, and like normal, I mess up at some point in any project, and this is one of the ones where I did. I did these biscuit joints. The two on here were done when I did all the others when we were gluing the stripes up. Doing these, I didn't take into account where I'd plane this down, so therefore they don't line up. So we're just going to have to glue it up without using biscuit joints. Alright, I've got some cauls in here so I don't damage the edges of these boards when I'm clamping them together. Since we're about finished with the project, I'm going to throw some glue on here. We're going to get them clamped up, and hopefully this turns out as good as I think it will. Well, messed up there. Put too much glue on where I didn't need it. Let's get that off before it gets any kind of dry. Looks freaking good. We're all glued up, nice and dry, lined up really well on me. I'm really happy with that. Today we're going to cut down the ends here, get our final dimensions of the flag, and start working on the union area for the display case. Let's get started. Okay, I've got my piece of walnut stock here. It's 1 1/4 inches thick, and 1 3/8 inches. I'm going to try to get 2 1/2 inch pieces out of this. Let's get started joining this. Okay, I've got the 3/4 blade changed out. I have to take the guard off on mine. This 3/4 is a little too big and it hits it no matter which way I try to position it. I know it's unsafe. Don't ever do this. Let's get to resawing this. I'm going to now cut this down into 2-inch strips. Let's get started. I've got my first side cut with the miters. I'm going to go over here and mark and measure for my next set. Alright, I've got a clamp here as a stop block to cut my next miter after I've marked it, so I can cut the second one the exact same. Then I'll reposition it to cut my smaller one exactly the same. Let's start. I don't know if you can tell here, the end of this is got maybe a 32nd of an inch too much. So what I'm gonna do is just move it in a slight bit, put a little spacer in there maybe, and true this up. All right, these look really good. Got them down perfect sized. Look fitting together really well. Nice tight miters. What I'm gonna do is this outside edge will not be seen. It's gonna be recessed back in there. All you're gonna do is see this top edge and the inside edge. It's part of the display case. I'm gonna go ahead and pre-sand these two faces with some 120 grit. Okay, I misspoke. I'm gonna first sand down with an 80 grit and then go up to a 220 grit. Okay, I actually decided to go with some 320 here. I'm just gonna kind of hit it a little further by hand with 320. Alright, I've got that all sanded down. What I want to do now is kind of get it mocked up with my corner clamp, strap clamp here, and try and get some exact measurements on the inside and figure out how big a piece of glass I'm going to need so I can go have that cut. So we're going to run this at 14 3/8. 14 3/8 by 9 a little over 9.5. Hey, all right. Well, I've done a lot of work that the camera messed up on and did not record. So I'm going to walk you through what I've been doing. I got the walnut box glued together with the glass in it, but ended up having a problem where the glass cracked when I tried to glue it into the flag. What I ended up doing was breaking the glass out of it, making this thinner by cutting in the groove that I cut for the glass, the dado I cut for the glass. I cut it on the table saw there, cut that off, and then I cut this dado in here, or rabbet in here, for a new piece of glass to go into, and I'll cover it with trim to hold it in. The back piece I have on already. I've cut it to size after gluing 3 pieces of walnut together. I've got this glued in here. What I did here was because of the expansion issue that I've come up with, is that this thing will expand about 1/8 of an inch. That's a 1/16 on each side total in dry environments and wet environments or humid environments. So what I've done here is I glued this side all the way, and on this side I just glued right here in the center to give this the ability to be able to expand some if it needs to. Hopefully that'll take care of that. What I've decided to do on the sides for the full length for the case that I'm putting around at the frame, I'm going to use dowels. I'm going to make it where it's about 1/8 of an inch bigger all the way around than this. And that way it'll give it that room for expansion also, and the dowels will be in 4 locations around the flag to hold it off of the flag.